All right. Hello, 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 YouTube collective. We're going to have, as always, a timeless tarot and oracle card reading today. This is being recorded at the time of the new moon in Cancer, July 2026. So, as far as very recent energies, if you're trying to go in chronological order, then welcome. We're going to be receiving this Cancer new moon energy and influence in this reading today. And I have to say, even going into it, a lot of it absolutely with the Cancerian themes, like whether it's memories, thoughts, reflections, ideas about any of these kind of like more or less reflective abilities we can have when it comes to the topics of family and even legacy, which is a bit more Capricorn, yet they exist on that axis together. And yet, how family and legacy and how we can choose our family, like chosen family, like be creative with this, let alone soul family, soul tribe, things of that nature. It's a lot of reflections about like the self in relation to chosen family, chosen community type of energy, let alone maybe themes regarding your own current home situation, your current household composition, the energy dynamics around that, let alone that maybe in relation to family, greater family, anything in between that. Like there's these themes basically about like matters close to home and close to the heart. And so that is definitely entailing like the physical space, the home environment, let alone like these family themes, family energies, perhaps even some ancestral themes, ancestral energies and connections, as well as passed on loved ones, things of that nature. Also with this Cancer new moon energy, if you find yourself feeling, let alone throughout this season so far, this retrograde energy is certainly helping. However, Spirit is being very, very loving, graceful, and even humorous, inviting you to laugh at it when it really, resonates and applies, at the increased sensitivity and emotionality coming up in this now. You may find yourself crying a little bit more easily, finding your imagination triggering, what do you call it? Triggering crying, triggering emotional release. Like where you could just be thinking about things that haven't even happened, could be something very random, and yet you could feel it quite deeply and then triggering an emotional release at this time. You don't have to over analyze it, over question it. Ask your guides to show you, what the relevance is, like reveal to you whatever the wisdom and or the medicine, the antidote that it's providing you to be. Let you understand it while also surrendering. Like sometimes also it may not even be so deep as much as Spirit was wanting to create a release for you to bring you more into alignment and didn't need to inherently limit that release process to a specific past memory or past experience. Perhaps that energy and that trapped emotion, those stored feelings could be more easily and comfortably released if we had this more like, I want to say a little bit more innocent, a little bit more just synchronistic, unexpected, in the conscious way, unexpected triggering experience that then leads to the release, okay? So I feel guided to share that, and pardon me if I seem a little bit more stumbly with this, really trying to translate the emotions and feelings of this all into words. Basically, what I'm getting though is that things of that nature are available and happening right now. Feeling a tightness in my throat. Things of that nature are happening right now so that healing can be experienced in more easy, easeful, smooth ways. Essentially, not limiting healing, not limiting the ability to feel better, the ability to be better, to be lighter, to be high vibrational, not limiting that only to the most like conscious and direct and intentional, hyper focused, hyper fixated approaches to transmutation, transformation, alchemy, healing, self integration, all that jazz, whatever resonates. Like basically allowing there to be easy ways for your guys to support you, letting your imagination and your faculties support you when it comes to your own healing, integration, embodiment journey, whatever you want to call it, like living your best life, being, becoming, embodying your best self. For those of you who do any, whoever feel inspired to, whether you do special prayer, special work, special intentions, special rituals in regards to moons and or astrology, taking inspiration from what's going on in this now. This is a reminder and an invitation to really leverage this energy, take advantage of this new moon energy. Whenever it finds you, at least tap into it, let alone if you feel guided at this time to practice some cleansing rituals, some like really self-love and healing and protection, and I'm even getting like unity, like prayers and intentions, praying for your family, praying for your lineage, praying for your bloodline. And that does not mean letting go of, boundaries, letting go of disconnections that really healthily do need to stand. Absolutely not. What it is calling for though is more blessings, more harmony, more unity, more peace, like just less rah-rah, less pain, less rot, less damage, less trouble, less suffering for your entire lineage and bloodline, which benefits you, let alone goes across like, dimensions, time, space, places, and what have you. Like, it doesn't hurt to be helpful from that kind of way, putting out that kind of energy, especially if you know at some point you may have to deal with or intend to deal with family, whether this is chosen and or biological, but however you want to define family or include family, whether current, once upon a time, and everything in between. It's a way to also bless and make the path and the road easier for your future self as well. Sending that love that way and helping you just honestly live a bit more lighter and brighter, peaceful, closer to the love vibration rather than more like caught up in the feeling some type of way, feeling angry, feeling frustrated, feeling resentful. Like those are all legit things. Yet if there are opportunities to kind of lighten the load and not have to carry that forward, this is a great time to allow yourself to receive that support, receive that guidance, receive that relief. Real invitations for relief and ease coming from spirit guides. So yes, this does involve work. This does involve reflection. This does involve setting that intention and allowing that to be that, allow it to become easier, to be easeful, to be smooth, to be light. If all you ever believe in and all you ever choose is for like the difficult and the suffering, and that's all you hold space for, and that's all you choose to believe ever will be, then so be it. I'm not asking you to ignore what is in the now and the tightness in my throat. Like, there are definitely energies that are really trying to constrict this. It's like whatever energy you feel in this now, whatever the reality is in this now moment when this transmission finds you, it's not to override, invalidate, and or to disrespect that in the lightest. It is about encouraging and inviting you, though, through your own willpower, through your own intention, through your own focus and direction of energy, through your own creation and co-creation of your reality, your experience of reality, your experience of the world, the universe, the phenomena that is life. Place your energies and focus and intentions in directions that serve you and create the ideal world and reality you want to experience. One that takes delicious and nutritious care of you, let alone all that dwell in it. As corny as it is, be the change you want to see in the world. And continue unlearning and not taking the bait or the temptation to engage in practices, thought forms, habits, behaviors, language, actions, remarks, comments, things of that nature that really just play into, honestly, judgmental, bitter, embittered, rude, unkind, incompassionate, inconsiderate, unforgiving, unmerciful, disgraceful / non-graceful behaviors, and we're all human. We all have our moments, okay? I'm not sitting here saying I never feel some type of way. I'm not claiming to not be a moody person. Yet, throughout and over time, especially as I choose to be who I want to be in the world, I find myself I don't engage in and I don't speak, as like pettily and judgily as maybe like younger versions of myself would have. Not that I'm crapping on the younger version of myself. Not that I'm saying my younger self was like, this monster or what have you. Yet, when we're younger, and it's like until we really learn lessons about empathy and consideration, like a lot of that, yes, we can have baseline like morals and manners, I think, if we are exposed to that from a young age. And I do believe that is important and a very strong blessing. Yet also let's hold grace for a lot of times in our adolescence, our young years, let alone throughout our entire life. It never ends, at least in my opinion. We learn how to be increasingly like empathetic. We learn how to think ahead. We learn how to read the room. And this isn't everybody. Not everybody learns this. When I say this I really mean like many of us have the opportunity to learn and practice this. And then there are those of us who do choose to take those opportunities and engage in practicing it as best as we can, and then learning as we go, taking accountability, giving forgiveness, being forgiven, requesting that, all that jazz. Like we participate in the cycle of life. Thank you, Spirit. I love how you just got me on that whole tangent with there. Basically, even the fact that these themes are coming up and it is helping to even feel lighter and release some of this tension in the throat chakra with this expressing the truth. This is what I'm feeling guided to invite y'all to continue doing at this time, is finding outlets to express your truth, your thoughts, as well as to specifically speak in the world and the life 1111, the world, the life, the reality that you truly want to experience. It's important that you continue to raise your voice and feel that vibration, calling in, claiming, owning, desiring, enjoying, embodying what it is you want, what it is you choose to deserve, what it is you choose to experience. A big part of overcoming like wounds and deposits of like suppression and silencing, both in your own personal life, let alone familially, let alone generationally, through the lineage, through the bloodline, things of that nature. It's important that you continue to use like your voice, use your throat chakra, use your ability to express, and really call in and utilize your willpower through expression, through sharing, through healthy assertion, let alone embodiment. This Cancer moon is allowing in this relief and release so that you can express yourself more, let alone more consistency, and with less judgment for yourself, as well as letting go of judgments for others, finding relief and ease towards others. It doesn't mean excusing like negative or wicked or trash behaviors, or ignoring the facts that would happen. It's not about that. It's more so about being like, I'm really feeling like releasing like resentment, releasing heaviness, releasing depression, releasing anxiety, releasing doubt, releasing low vibrational energies in ways that create honestly, and choosing more space for joy, for happiness, for gratitude, for creativity, for ambition. There's something about where you're letting go of / transmuting emotions and feelings that you don't like and don't want anymore. And yeah, like I said, transmuting and transforming them into those you do want. Those you do want to experience. Allowing yourself to use time and space in more radical and new ways so that you feel healthier, you feel more well, you feel more fulfilled, you feel more happy. You feel more like the you really want to be and that you are at a soul level. You're allowing, it's like this energy, like this Cancer water, it's like having gone down deep in the depths through the waters to connect with like almost like a soul version, a soul lotus version of yourself. And now you've done a lot of the work, and now you're really bringing that version of yourself / allowing that version of self up and now to rise to the surface and to really like blossom and flourish and live from there, live from that place forward. It's like not being oppressed and suppressed and just dwelling in all of that water and all that emotions. It's like coming, like really allowing yourself to have come back up and out for life and up for air and willing to breathe the air of life again. And to not only float on the waters, but to walk on land and move forward again. And maybe that's why I'm feeling guided to this mermaids and dolphins like energy. Being like a mermaid who can dwell in the sea, be in the water, yet also has that ability, to walk on land, like be of one world, yet navigating two, and being like very unique in both because of this. Taking the time to still breathe deep, releasing any and all throat chakra blockages. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit, Team, and Tribe. And look at this. Okay, we have Healing Heart, Yes, and Wait. Bottom of the deck is Music for Manifesting. I know that one came out recently in a reading I did in the last several weeks. So what I'm getting with this music for manifesting, first and foremost for me, no surprise and shock. However, it really calls me to like, frequencies, binaural beats, morphic fields, subliminals, repetitions, affirmations, basically any of those very intentional, like energy direction, like some form of intention based listening is very helpful and important at the time that this message finds you, let alone if you want to focus on ones as well as meditations, guided meditations related to the new moon. I'm getting vibes, yes, for cleansing and purification. However, what I'm also really getting, honestly, is space for creativity. Like listening to things that really allow your creative energy, your imagination, just to flourish and play. Really embracing like creative energy, life force energy. Yeah, with that Healing Heart card, really tapping back into the heart space, the heart chakra, breathing into love, breathing into unconditional love. Things that really allow the heart to like flutter, getting butterfly energy, butterfly symbolism as well. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. This may be involving like parental healing, let alone mother healing, a little bit more specifically, feminine, divine feminine healing and integration. With the Yes card, we also have Your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. And yet I also have Wait right alongside that with don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. So these are not meant to be in conflict or contradiction. What's going on right now is that, okay, I'm getting the Mercury guidance with this one, with the Wait, is to guard and mind your tongue. Be careful, not inherently just what you say, how you say, and when you say. Like taking into account the time and place, time and space of certain exchanges, confirmations, communications, in addition to literally how do you deliver that message. And while your intuition about something is correct and the validity of your feelings and emotions like truly are valid, like they are rooted, they have merit, basically. Like you're not imagining these things, like they're not just coming up and out of nowhere with no reason. Particularly this is for my people who are doing, their own mature reflections and works to take accountability and ownership of their emotions and feelings. Checking themselves for compassion, checking themselves for respect, for grace, for consideration, for kindness, for decorum, for courtesy. Basically, this is for my people who are really checking themselves with their own accountability while also maybe looking to hold others accountable and or reflecting on situations with others, and like uncomfortable situations with others, like uncomfortable emotions, situations, disconnects, problems, challenges, beliefs, cultural differences, different approaches to life, like stuff like that. It's like this energy where you're really doing a lot of work to really like basically check yourself and just make sure you're coming correct and really being, and honestly, like really being a person that you can be proud of and operating in alignment with your soul and the values, and kind of like, walking your talk, like in addition to talking your talk, like walking your talk, owning your virtues and values. Like for my collective, this is for my people where it's like, you're not perfect, yet it's like with every lesson, with every like real breath, let alone with every day that you continue to like live, on this earth and experience reality and experience consciousness through this like sacred physical vessel that you've received, you're seeking to do and be better. You're seeking to be less of a problem and more about the love. Like even if you don't know how to do that every day or every moment, you at the end of the day still want to be feeling like lighter and brighter versus like lower and slower. And when you catch yourself participating in things that are lower and slower, you seek to adjust that, calibrate that, whether that means decreasing and or letting something go, reforming something, transmuting something. Like obviously, there's such variety when it comes to life. It isn't one size fits all. That's why I'm using all these different verbs. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. With this being said, though, it's like you're somebody who's doing the work to really open and align your heart, engaging especially in compassion, joy, and forgiveness. Your intuition is on point. You really are tapping into your intuition, that water element, not only for the emotional side and healing, yes, also with the intuitive connection, development, and discernment. And with the weight energy coming through, I feel as though that's not to say don't allow your intuition to guide you and how you move. Absolutely take that into account, let alone with your decision-making processes. What I'm getting though is the weight with that Mercury energy, that helpful and loving, like caution with considering time and place, how and when you deliver and where you deliver messages, and to whom as well. Like being mindful of like a lot of this intuitive information and data really is between you and God, Goddess, Source, your holiest self, your holiest soul right now, holiest spirit. This is not something that you need to be sharing with everybody. Need to know information. A lot about this is still making your moves and doing your healing integration. Whew. Wow, with this breathing that's needed right now, it is wild, especially in the heart space. It's like you really do need to be moving low and slow. Like Spirit is having me feel it right now and model it, because this is some deep heart healing. And with a little bit of this potential shortness of breath, Spirit is wanting to very much so affirm and illustrate that with a bit of this shortness of breath, like this more sacred breath right now, this sacred energy that you have, it's like don't be wasting it on those who are not deserving of it. Those in which are, it's just not the time and place. It's not the time and place to be prioritizing certain communications, certain connections, because there are already matters in people's, close to your heart and household where you do need to be focusing and giving that energy and attention and intention right now, so that when you engage, I think, a little bit more in Leo season, where there will be a little bit more space and capacity for some more external, I want to say the first word is negotiations, let alone associations and communications. Trust the timing. Remember, this is retrograde season for a while, for many reasons. And with that, we're not meant to be, pushing ourselves, period, or ever, really. Let alone rushing into new things, and certainly not people-pleasing and putting other people's urgency above what our own timetable, what our own review, what our own needs, what our own relief is calling for and needing in this time. Resist the chaos, resist the people trying to get you to push through and ignore what your health and intuition really needs and is guiding you towards in this now, let alone here in this reading. I want to get some energy oracle followed by some tarot to further, basically expand upon this reading, clarify it, speak further to this collective, bring down the situation, and help guide us with practical and pragmatic action, Spirit of our highest and holiest good. Let us know what we need to know in the smartest, wisest, healthiest, most aligned moves to be making forward in this now. Okay, I got storm warning yet. I'm also getting victory. I feel like this deck, Spirit, help clarify. We have the garden and the gate. Please and thank you. Indecision. Woman holding a coin, bottom of the deck. Goddess of the moon around the corner. And with this moon energy, moon intuition, a lot of that really on point. Yeah, God, woman holding a coin on top of anxiety, no surprise there. On top of healer of the ages, which I'm guided to take. Holiest like Jesus, holiest Christos energy, representing Holy Spirit. At the end of the day, your holiest soul, and a lot of your anointment and your calling and your purpose, and you having those soul gifts and wisdoms in there. The anxiety is your mind feeling a bit perhaps overwhelmed, honestly, about some decisions to be making in this now slash some decisions that are about to be unfolding, likely at around the time that this message finds you. I feel that with this collective, what's going on is, what I'm feeling the storyline is there were some like key breakdowns and some foundational, like some things in your foundational environment, let alone your life, were rocked. And this is a general collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Contact me down below. Use the description box if you would like to get a personal reading. Please don't force the fit. I'm emphasizing that especially now because these pillars and foundations are going to be very user specific. And for some people, it could be one thing, it could be two things. For others, it could be many. For others, it could be few. Whatever it may be, it's up to you to very much so discern and reflect. Take what resonates and don't force the fit. And what those pillars and breakdowns and those earthquakes, let alone hurricane moments, were in your life in recent times, recent season. What I'm getting a lot coming up to the surface with this collective, especially with this Mercury retrograde in Cancer, Cancer season, now this new moon in Cancer, all this Cancer energy. Like a lot of emotional communications, a lot of emotional breakdowns, like communication breakdowns with a lot of emotional, like turbulence, difficulties maybe with understanding, seeing things, like a lot of the darkness of the storms and different storms, and not being able to fully understand like the perspective of others, like this idea of like the storm clouds like create, and fog as well, and like mist, like a lot of haziness. So like while general ideas or concepts were being heard and thundering and booming, there wasn't as much clarity. There were the glimpses of the lightning, you know, the certain cracks of clarity. There were some breakthroughs in there, yet overall it was still a storm. There was a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, not easy clarity. The clearing is unfolding. A lot of that is happening, and a lot of those breakdowns needed to happen for the breakthrough. So a lot of that is that reminder and message. The breakdowns for the breakthroughs, yet at the same token, I do feel as though there is still some cleanup from these storms. There is still some cleanup from the wreckage. It wasn't as if this wasn't without, you know, a bit of painful and or hurtful destruction, a bit of room for despair. Like there is healing and there is recovering from these breakdowns, from this storm. While there is a bouncing back that has happened and is unfolding, it's not playing pretend that this was all easy and didn't have lingering emotions, lingering effects, lingering thoughts. It was not all easy. And even with the intention to bring more ease into this process, yes, it's that healing heart card. Thank you, Holy Spirit, the healing heart energy here. While there are intentions for ease and relief, not every single moment involves that. And now with victory up next, and then the Garden and the Gate, followed by indecision. What I feel like is like, on the one hand, your faith stays A1, and you know when you close your eyes and you breathe and you connect and you feel into your soul, into your connection with your ancestors, your spirit guides, your soul tribe, whatever you believe in, holiest source, holiest mother, holiest father. You know victory is yours. You know the promises are never null and void from the Most High, from your divinity. You know, you may even receive some signs and synchronicities. I'm getting bunny rabbits and rainbows in particular. Bunny rabbits and rainbows in particular. So you're receiving blessings. You're receiving certain signs, synchronicities. And yet, at the same token, there's something in your physical reality, in your physical world, though, where you feel as though this victory hasn't fully revealed itself. It hasn't fully like come into physical form, physical fruition. It hasn't fully popped off. You don't fully see it in the confines of where you currently are. It's like well beyond this gate, let alone well beyond the horizon line. It's out of focus, out of sight. And yet you feel something, you know something is there, yet you're wondering like, and this is where the indecision is, you're wondering like, am I supposed to be making a move? Am I supposed to be like going towards something, or is it going towards me? Like, I've already got myself to this place in this space following the storm, this breakdown. I'm getting like, you know, Six of Swords, like bringing us towards peace, at least a little greater stability. So there's this energy of wondering, okay, this victory hasn't fully materialized. It hasn't fully shown itself, Spirit. I've been doing my best to like work on my heart, work on my emotions, take accountability, work on my intuition, like put myself back together, let alone trust myself again. trust my intuition and slowly, whatever timeline you want. But when I say slowly, I really mean intentionally, without force, without rush. And deliberately taking my time to reconnect and reintegrate with the greater world, external parties and energies, so that I really stay like locked in and showing up in a way that you can feel grateful for and proud of. Like, you really did a lot to kind of like not stay in this gray and this destruction, and to really almost like recreate a sense of safety and stability in your world and reform your boundaries. And now it's like this interesting place and space where, on the one hand, you're very grateful for it and love whatever boundaries, whatever stability, whatever structure, however big or however small, you were able to co-create and reestablish for yourself. So there's gratitude there, and appreciation for the landscapes and beauty and peace that you found in this like environment. And yet, on the other hand, you're wondering, are you meant to be hitting the road again in some way, shape, or form? Are you meant to be adventuring forward? Like, is it time to get beyond the zone of where you're at? Are you meant to be moving forward? Are you meant to be relocating? Do you need to make a move? Do you need to be doing something? Like, you're wondering, especially as you hold your resources, even if you have one coin, whatever it is, like one big final trick left, you're like, am I supposed to play this final big trick? Am I supposed to spend this coin, this pentacle spirit? Am I supposed to go all in some kind of risky, like wild way to move forward and bust through whatever gate I've recently been in? Like there's a part of you, I feel like it's kind of like bucking and wondering, like, am I stable and secure in the right place and space? Or am I stable and secure in a comfort zone? And am I like, yeah, it's like this question and rumination of wondering, really, are you in the right place at the right time right now? And wondering if like the next part of your like embodiment, your fulfillment, your success, like requires you doing something more drastic. And I feel as though that's why the weight card is coming in here. Versus, I'm also pairing it with the goddess of the mood. Ooh, of the moon. I said mood. I meant to say moon, but there you go. Goddess of the mood, let alone moon. Don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. And I'm starting to get a tickle in my nose. And that means, when I start getting a tickle or a sneeze in my nose, I feel, ooh, blessings are right under our nose. Like it's going to come in like an unexpected surprise moment. Real divine timing. Truly. Ooh. What I'm also feeling with this is like, so with this weight, pardon me, because I felt like that was even like clearing, to be honest. Spirit doesn't want you. The reason why it's not that clear right now is like you're not meant to be making like a hasty or rushed decision. I am getting the sense of allowing opportunities and allowing certain next steps to flow towards you. Yes, I want you to engage in your practices that sync you up with your intuition, allow you to receive clues, that allow you to at least see what's the best place to focus on in this moment, in this hour, on this day, this week, this season. However big, however small, and everything in between, like whatever makes sense for you in the moment and you can tap into with the greatest ease. Because either way, she's holding these flowers in her basket, and it's like, I'm getting the sense you've done work to really, whether you started from scratch where you're at or you joined something and you've now helped like participate and contribute to some cultivation and environment or space. It's like you're enjoying the flowers, or at least you have these flowers and you have the opportunity to more so enjoy them. Be grateful because yes, you are going to eventually move forward. You're going to travel again. You're going to expand again. You're going to get beyond this gate. You are increasing your empire and domain. Yet before you get too far ahead of yourself and start to worry yourself about the fields and greener pastures and opportunities you see and you sense ahead of you, it's like, yes, be inspired and be grateful and be ambitious and excited for as you grow and as you expand. Don't feel Don't feel behind for where you are right now. Like what I'm getting is allow yourself to give yourself more grace and space for however big the garden or farm is that you have right now. Acknowledge that you have this garden and farm right now, / again. And the victory that that represents. Think about how there was / is the opposition and the challenge for this garden and farm that you have up until this point. How it's taken a while for you to even get to this layer and level of cultivation and consistency. You don't have to rush to the next layer and level of success. Allow it to continue growing and unfolding as you continue to cultivate and you expand, you know, line by line, lane by lane, plot by plot. Sometimes there will be big like drops and plots or acres of land, like expansions. There will be bigger acquisitions and blessings and gifts and mergers and all that jazz. Yet for now, thrive in the victory of what is, rather than like torment yourself about the victory that is to come, that is unfolding. There is victory already now. So celebrate that, enjoy that, embrace that, illuminate that. Because Spirit wants you to, your next movement anyway, they want to be happening and flowing from a place, honestly, of greater confidence, confident self-knowing, self-embodiment, self-belief, healthy self-focus. A healthy version of centering yourself, honestly. They need you to be a certain kind of confident and secure so that your boundaries are up and strong and powerful without being like strong and performative from a place of insecurity or force or needing to prove oneself. No, it just is what it is because it comes from your wisdom. It comes from all of your wisdom and experience thus far on your journey, all of the choices and decisions you've deliberately made throughout your life thus far. Lean into it. I'm very excited about this. This is meant to be a very relieving, affirming, confirming word for folks too. So allow that to wash over you. Let's get some tarot, please, and thank you, Holy Spirit. Clarifying this, sealing this oracle read, this energy oracle reading, this new moon in Cancer reading. Please and thank you. Yes, that Ace of Pentacles really wants to be here, coming out with the Nine of Wands. Here's the thing, money coming, divine wish being granted. Greater harmony and stability ahead as well. Greater unions. Like I said, the mergers and acquisitions, the connections, the collaborations ahead. This wounded warrior energy with the Nine of Wands. Spirit, and even with my nose like doing that on camera now, sounding like this, pardon me. It's like there's going to be some emotional release. Yeah, allow it. And Spirit, allow yourself, like, when this divine opportunity, as the divine opportunities come towards you and reveal themselves, allow yourself to walk that way, walk in that direction. Notice how there's a whole walkway and lane before you even get to the arches for that union and agreement to be, like, solemnized or whatever the word is. And that's the word that's coming through. Ratified, made, certified, validated, affirmed, witnessed. Whatever it may be, there's time and space before even getting there for like whatever could be a bigger or more final or grander decision. So allow yourself to walk and move forward in that direction with great honesty, with great integrity. I'm not saying be shady or what have you. Yeah, it's like move beyond your comfort zone. You are more healed than not. You're at a place where you're healed enough, where you're healed and well enough, where you are being invited and encouraged to walk again, to walk a bit more. It's like before like greater tension, stiffness, and decline starts to like set in and take over your form and your body. It's like Spirit wants you like out and about. Honor your capacity. They're not saying do the most and overexert yourself, yet you do need to be using this body, using this vessel, using this form, practicing your gifts, practicing your craft. Take whatever resonates, leave what doesn't. So this could be, yes, I'm using a lot of physical body and metaphors, especially, so that will really resonate with a lot of collective as I have this itch around the eye. And then also this may apply to not inherently like health and wellness, like with physical working on life, but using your energy, like your physical vessel, and your focus on your craft, on your blessing, on your artisanship, on your creativity, on your project, whatever it is. You're not only meant to be in rest and recovery mode. There is space for you to, in aligned direction, move forward, or at the very least, also like continue moving direction for some of y'all with what you've already committed to, like a big commitment and opportunity that you already have accepted, that you already know and have received from the divine, from your spirit guides, from your spirit team, like believing and knowing it is a blessing. And you received like some wounds, some warfare, some conflict along the way of honoring that commitment and blessing. Yet it wasn't meant, well, depends on what, now I'm getting, depends on from what perspective. So we don't need to hyper dwell there, rather. Whatever the damage and battles you've went through along the way thus far, they do not have to block you or delay you or deny you further, let alone like stop you from getting from the biggest payout, the truest reward, the greatest alignment, union, and fulfillment ahead of you. You are still deserving. And some of this really is a test of the worthiness as you continue walking forward on the path towards your blessing, to really honor yourself and be like, wow, do I still see myself as worthy, as like desirable, as deserving of these blessings, of these unions, of these connections, given all that I've went through, given all of the battles, all of the warfare, all of the challenges, all the struggles, all the injuries, all the damage. I'm hearing Damage by Danny Kane. It's like, are you, it's but not in a codependent way looking for somebody else to fix it, because you've done a lot of work to fix yourself. Yet it's like that wondering of being like, okay, I've done a lot of this work to fix myself. However, is there really community and connections and commitments for me that will embrace me as I am, not judge me for my judgments and traumas, lovingly hold me accountable, give me space to, when needed to, when it is triggered and relevant, like, you know, grow and what have you, and also give me the opportunity for vice versa, like healthy mutual accountability and growth and love, commitment and blessings, and being able to navigate through difficult times with respect, with grace. Yeah, and that commitment, like a healthy chosen family, like when we talk about that, I guess a more healthy and ideal version of family, like where unconditional love and forgiveness really are like more consistently practiced, where healthy boundaries very much so are communicated and practiced. It's not saying everything is perfect, yet people are really making like, you know, as best as we can, like intentional choices, wanting to do things in what could be defined as a more like loving, healthy, compassionate way. Obviously, that's going to be context as well as culturally specific and relevant and what have you. Yet you catch my drift, hopefully. Okay, I want to get a little bit more tarot to bring this forward. Let's close out this reading with a little bit more tarots. Please and thank you, Spirit. And I keep getting that message. Yes, it's not about rushing ahead. It is about taking some action, though. Yeah, it's like the Five of Cups wanted to flip out in the reverse following the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords, followed by Temperance around the corner. See, there is that no need for haste, no need for rushing. Things are really being moderated and put into place and rebalanced, recalibrated. Participate in that process. Allow Spirit to help you. Believe in that. Yes, also acknowledge, like, this has been a very big ending and cycle, and it hasn't been easy. Like, this is why I was channeling about that emotional release in the beginning. Whether you remember things specifically or other things just trigger an emotional release of heaviness that's been lodged into you across body, mind, soul, emotion, and spirit. In some ways, you likely have felt a bit limited, a little bit trapped, a little bit uncertain. It's like all these different thoughts, all these different pathways, all these different like options of where you could be focusing. In some ways, it was overwhelming and you wanted to kind of like almost like look down and just focus on your own 2 feet, because it's overwhelming with all these different pathways and you're feeling almost like in a weird way bound up by the various like opportunities and flows where you could direct your energy and focus and attention right now. Because on the one hand, you do want to focus on like really where your feet are being guided intuitively, like your calling and flow. Yet there's certain situations thought forms and patterns, maybe even communications, comments, words, what have you, that have really like almost triggered you feeling more limited, more scarce, more impoverished, more restricted, more bound. And like with, I'm getting a lot of should energy, a lot of judgment energy, like almost having you question like how you've been choosing to almost like allocate your capacity and focus and energy right now, and wondering like really like it's almost like questioning like how are you handling yourself, your time and your schedule. And I feel like spirit is saying like honestly with this 5 of Cups though, especially with this new moon in Cancer and this now, it's like you have emotionally like really gotten to the bottom of these feelings, like really almost like delved in. And I feel like you've kind of like in some ways before, I think you were avoiding like really like not like both thinking things through further as well as feeling things through. It's like you didn't want to maybe see things too deeply or too critically because you almost didn't want to possibly feel a negative type of way towards a certain circumstance, connection, relationship, like I don't know, like environment, whatever it may be. It's like you didn't want to almost like face the truth of your own feelings and your own views and your own opinions around certain relationships and or circumstances or what have you. And now it's kind of like you finally decided like with the yes, like really to honor your intuition and what you're feeling and your healing heart, and just to with respect, as respectfully as you can, it's like own, like face those truths of how you really feel and be like, you know what, I'm not going to keep tripping over this. I'm not going to keep like holding myself back or ignoring. It's like, I'm going to shake things up. Like, I don't feel this reversal as a blockage of you. If anything, I feel like it actually is you, like almost like really facing the fullness, like getting your face in those cups that have spilt, really being very real about the emotions. And then from there being like, okay, now that I've really faced these emotions, now that I've really honored this truth, it is what it is. I'm getting myself back upright. I'm recalibrating things, and I'm asking Spirit to help me move forward in a more temperate and like compassionate way. I'm asking Spirit and I'm allowing Spirit to help rebalance and recalibrate me where I move forward, where I do have healthy boundaries and compassion, consideration, and grace, while also not getting myself too caught up, not being worried or bound by other people's thoughts or opinions, not allowing other people's energy to have me focus so much on my wounds and limitations that I lose sight of my deserving commitments and opportunities, and the fact that I am on path, you know, and I am in that greater union with myself, let alone greater unions and connections ahead of me and for me. You know, it was like this distraction of this pain and these energies and thought forms that really weren't even all yours. They just kind of got lodged into you. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, no, you're shaking that stuff up and letting Spirit help you. And baseline, Spirit is saying, you don't need to be rushing in a certain direction right now. You don't need to make a rash or harsh decision. You don't need to run away or flee. Continue walking forward on the path, honestly, that you've already been walking on. I'm getting like the Knight of Pentacles energy. It's like remember the Knight of Pentacles energy. It's the slowest moving knight, yet it's the most committed with the greatest longevity. And while you may have had your Knight of Swords moments, your Knight of Cups flows, your Knight of Wands bursts of passion at any and all points, you know, along the journey, baseline, let your foundation, that earth element, that foundational energy, like be that Knight of Pentacles, being committed and knowing that sometimes it may be a bit slower moving. It may require rest. It may require slowing down, care, nourishment, or what have you. Yet ultimately, you're going to hit that road again. You're going to move forward. You're going to continue to put that message out there, put whatever co-creation or blessing, intention you are meant to out there in the world. So I almost feel like it was like going through all of this and now to bring you back to that, which is very like retrograde forward in that commitment. So yay, Holy Spirit. Let's seal this reading in with an Ascended Master. I want to seal in this reading. I want to seal this in. Thank you, Holy Spirit, team and tribes. And thank God like that tightness in the throat chakra has like lessened throughout this reading, because that was very real and very intense. Artistic expression with Paul the Venetian. See what I'm talking about? The expression, the release, the truth, your artistry, your co-creation, your gift, what you've already been committed to. there was something about it where like there were some like side quests, some side ventures, because I was thinking about that concept before I even got here. Recording Spirit was bringing that up for me. Side quests and side ventures that were relevant to the main path and quest. Yet, you know, with any excuse me, with any risk, you know, there's always risk with reward and vice versa. And sometimes when we go on the side quest, we do take damage. We do go through an experience that may cause some pain or some hurt. You know, it is an additional adversity and challenge, and thus an additional battle sometimes that we choose to opt into. And sometimes side quests really, actually, even though they're called side quests, they really are like more or less mandatory. And sometimes there's ones where it's like, okay, we can do it now and get it over with, or we can like possibly wait or delay, and it's up to us to discern the timing around things and give grace with whatever decision we make, because hindsight is 2020 no matter what. What I'm getting though now is like, you've done that side direction of focus, you've given other people, other situations the time of day, you've now more or less clock game, you've recognized like patterns, you've recognized behaviors, you've recognized like outsets, you send love and blessings for people as they are and who they are, and now you've kind of like, because you were kind of to also like meant to kind of go about that, engage, okay, how much do you want to invest your time, focus, and energy? How far do you see this flowing with ease versus like how much of this is with resistance and the capacity that this requires? And how does that, all of that relate to your own goals, ambition, and calling in life? And now, while knowing these may be factors or situations to keep account of, for future moving purposes or what have you, you are still like prioritizing yourself, honoring your calling, protecting your energy, and doing what you need to do to not like really take other people's like energies, vibes, judgments, whatever. Like, you're not holding on to it. You're doing what you got to do. You're minding your own business, your own hustle, your own juggle of priorities and wellness. And it's paying off and it's paying out, honestly. It's paying off and it's paying out, honestly. Like, so say what you need to say, express what you're here to express, continue working on that project. There are greater victories unfolding and coming through in this now, especially I feel, and I've been feeling it for a while, like Leo season is going to have more bright and visible and even greater tangible blessings. Either way, there are already tangible blessings in your life, things to be focusing upon, things to continue investing in, let alone enjoying and being grateful for. So allow music, allow humming, allow like, yeah, really especially allow music and sound to really lift your vibration, to cast out lower vibrational energies and entities, things that do not serve you, allowing yourself to feel lighter and brighter, leveraging this moon energy, this new moon energy, let alone whenever this finds you, and trusting that like waves of blessing really are coming towards you. You just had those, think about whatever was that recent, maybe a little bit more painful cycle or a lot more painful cycle or moment, those flare-ups, whatever it may be, those eruptions, whatever those big waves were, needed to happen. And now you've come back into yourself, your commitment. You got the data from those side quests, and now you're also recognizing it's like, okay, while that side quest exposed me and gave me experience in ways that I need, I also don't need to force myself from that side quest to then take on other people's main quests and make myself a background character. It's like remembering my willpower, my autonomy, my calling. Like, these are the things collective that we're being guided to kind of frame for ourselves in our reflections, in our communications with our holiest self, with our spirit, in our meditations, our prayers, or what have you, in our rest. So I'm going to take some time to breathe. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know what resonates with you and how this finds you whenever it finds you. Comment down below with what resonates. Please affirm and confirm, and send and share some love. As always, I'm Dil Divine, your friendly neighborhood queer muse, oracle, and soul guide. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and use the links and contact information down below if you would like a reading from me. As well as also make sure, if you are on TikTok user, clock in over there and make sure you follow me so that you can join our live sessions and live polls, and maybe get a reading over there on air, okay? So sending y'all love and blessings and gratitude, and I will talk soon. Mwah.